There comes a moment in every life when fear becomes louder than truth, and doubt becomes stronger than conviction. In that moment, a person must decide whether to keep sinking under the weight of insecurity or rise with the strength that comes from trusting God. This message calls you to stop allowing fear to shape your direction and start allowing faith to shape your destiny. When you shift your focus from what threatens you to the one who leads you, every step becomes clearer. Every burden becomes lighter. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. This is your moment to turn your eyes away from fear and walk with a faith that cannot be shaken. Fear blinds your purpose, while faith restores your direction. There are moments when fear whispers that you are not capable and not worthy and not strong enough to walk the path in front of you. It pushes you to shrink back from the very things God designed to shape your calling. When fear takes control, your heart begins to lose sight of what truly matters, and your purpose becomes covered under the weight of doubt. But when you choose faith, you lift your eyes above the noise, and you begin to see the road that God has already prepared for you. Faith does not remove the challenge, but it restores your direction with a strength that fear can never possess. There are seasons when fear convinces you that stepping forward is too dangerous and staying still is the only safe choice. It tells you that failure is certain and that disappointment will follow you if you dare to try. Yet this is the lie that keeps your destiny locked behind the walls of hesitation. Faith calls you to rise beyond the fear that tries to imprison your potential. Faith reminds you that God never asked you to walk alone and never expected you to rely on your own strength. When faith becomes your focus, the path that once looked impossible becomes a journey filled with divine guidance and renewed courage. Fear will always try to steal your vision because it knows that a person with clear purpose becomes unstoppable. When you place your trust in God, you begin to see opportunities hidden inside obstacles. You learn to stop measuring your life by what threatens you and start measuring it by the God who leads you. Faith restores what fear tried to destroy and redirects your steps toward growth, transformation, and truth. When you choose faith over fear, you step into the life that was meant for you. Fear weakens the soul, while faith strengthens your inner foundation. There are moments when fear slowly drains your courage until even simple steps feel impossible. It makes your heart heavy and your thoughts restless and your confidence shaken. Fear convinces you that you are too fragile to face what stands ahead and too broken to rise from what lies behind. But faith enters with a different voice that reminds you that your strength does not come from your own ability, but from the God who stands beside you. When you choose faith, your soul begins to breathe again, and your courage begins to rise. There are seasons when fear becomes a constant companion that whispers failure into your spirit day after day. It tells you that every attempt will collapse, and every dream will fade, and every prayer will remain unanswered. This slow poison weakens your identity and steals your sense of worth. But faith shifts your focus from your weakness to the power of God, who sustains you through every storm. Faith strengthens what fear tries to break and rebuilds what fear tries to remove. When you embrace faith, your soul becomes unshaken because it is anchored in something greater than circumstances. Fear always tries to shrink your life because it knows that a strong soul becomes a powerful force for change. Faith enlarges your life by giving you the courage to step into challenges with confidence rather than hesitation. It teaches you that strength grows in the presence of surrender and courage grows in the presence of trust. Faith builds a foundation inside you that cannot be moved by fear or doubt or uncertainty. When you choose faith, your inner strength becomes a witness that God is working even when you cannot see the result. In the end, faith always leads you toward victory. Fear creates limitations, while faith opens doors you never imagined. Fear builds invisible walls around your life and convinces you that certain dreams are too distant and certain goals are too high for someone like you. It whispers that the risks are too great, and the path is too uncertain, and the outcome is too unpredictable. These thoughts begin to limit your vision and shrink your expectations until you settle for less than what God intended for you. But faith enters and lifts those walls from around your heart, allowing you to see new possibilities. Faith does not wait for perfect conditions because it trusts the one who makes all things possible. There are moments when fear holds you back from stepping into new opportunities because it reminds you of every past failure. It uses your history to shape your future and convinces you that nothing can change. This is how fear keeps you trapped in the same cycle year after year. But faith transforms your perspective by reminding you that God is not limited by your past or your weakness or your mistakes. Faith invites you to step beyond your comfort zone and believe that God can open doors that seemed permanently closed. When you walk in faith, you begin to see growth where you once saw barriers and hope where you once saw obstacles. Fear tries to make your world smaller, but faith expands it in ways you never expected. Faith encourages you to take steps that fear told you to avoid and to trust God in places where fear told you to retreat. It strengthens your heart to move into unknown territory because you know that God walks before you. Faith teaches you that every limitation placed by fear can be broken when your trust is rooted in God. When you choose faith, you step into a life filled with purpose, courage, and divine possibility. In the end, faith always leads you to doors you never thought would open. In the end, this message calls you to lift your eyes from the weight of fear and place your trust in the God who leads you with strength and purpose. Fear will always try to distract, weaken, and limit you, but it cannot stand against a heart rooted in faith. When you choose faith, you step into clarity, you recover your courage, and you discover doors that only God can open. This is your moment to rise above the noise of doubt and walk with confidence in the path God has prepared. Let faith shape your steps, your choices, and your future. Choose faith and step boldly into the life God intended for you.